Hey everybody, Jay Donovan here from CrunchGear. Tonight we're going to take a look at AmpKit and AmpKit LiNK. It's guitar modeling software for iPhone. So, AmpKit, AmpKit LiNK. So AmpKit's the modeling software in your iPhone, and AmpKit LiNK is the dongle that connects. That lets you connect your guitar or your bass to play. So, my thoughts on AmpKit are that, after a little bit of a rocky start when I first plugged it in, I had a little bit of static and whatnot. I think there was just some dust on the connector. After that, it's been pretty rocking, and I'm pretty, impressed with the quality of tones that the thing puts out. So, as advertised, they have many pedal, simulated pedals and amps and microphones and all that, more than their competition, they claim. And let's see, how many are there? 12 amps, 20 unique amp channels, 16 pedals, 13 cabinets, and 8 mics. And then there are the 60 included presets, which are pretty handy, actually. And that's what we're going to go through tonight. I'm going to play a couple of the presets rather than spend a bunch of time going through all these different other pedals, because there are a lot of them. A few things to note first before I start playing for you. As advertised, there's one of the things they talk quite a bit about in their literature for this thing is the quality of their high gain tones, and they've put a lot of effort into making sure they sounded good and loud and clear, and lo and behold, they do. Even through these little tiny headphones, it sounds like when you're playing a high volume amp, it sounds like it's really cranking at high volume, and they did a good job with that. Also, I really liked the interface for this. If you look here, you'll notice that the pedals are kind of small, and at first that might seem like a disadvantage. Some of the other amp modeling software for iPhone, the pedals are large and take up the whole screen, and when you're dialing it, you actually dial the knobs, and that sounds really good in theory. However, what I found with this, while it didn't seem as cool at first, because how you actually control these pedals are, you just click the pedal to turn it on and off, and when you click the area where the knobs are, it flips over to standardized controls. So all pedals have the same kinds of controls. And you don't actually turn the knob and whatnot. You push sliders. What I found was that's actually way faster to use and a lot easier to use than trying to dial it on the pedal. Plus, because they're smaller, you can actually see more than one pedal on the screen at a time, and it makes it a lot easier to use and a lot faster to switch between pedals. So I actually like the interface, even though it seemed, at first it seemed a little more simplistic and not quite as detail-oriented. In fact, it's actually pretty cool. And last thing to note, the killer part of this app is really something called Reamp. And it's worth noting here because this the AmpKit lets you record, the stuff you're playing, and but in addition to that, it records it 2 times. And what I mean is, when you're recording a guitar track, you could be playing it and it's got a distortion pedal on it, or you've got an elaborate signal, you've affected the signal chain in such a way that it's really elaborate. And it records it like that, but it also records just a clean version of your guitar at the same time, so that if later, after you hear this recording, you didn't like how the effects sounded on it, you can switch between the other effects on the fly, and and it's real time, so it's pretty sweet. It makes it more you can actually change your mind after you've already recorded something about how the tones are being affected, and how the tones are affecting it. So that's Reamp, and that's pretty great. And so anyway, enough blabbing. I'm gonna play a couple of things for you here, so you can kind of hear how this thing sounds. Disclaimer again: remember, I'm not a real guitarist. I'm not a professional guitarist. I just play one on the internet. So cut me some slack if I hit a couple of bad notes. But no, seriously, you can. I'm just gonna play a few things so you can kind of get the basic gist about how this thing sounds. So first thing we're going to play here is an effect called this is one of the presets called Captain Crunchy. So it's a crunch guitar sound. So it's got some nice gain. They have a lot of noise gates. I typically like to leave the noise gates off because that's how a real guitar amp sounds. You know, there's a lot of noise and hiss, but a lot of these presets have these gates on. So okay, that's Captain Crunchy. Let's see what the next thing. Let's bring it down a little bit. We'll do Cavernous. Space there. What else we got here? Far away fuzz. So it's pretty cool. And let's do one more. What else did we write down here? We'll end on something big here. New Metal Valve King. So this one, it's pretty loud. Oh yeah, one last thing. We got to get the bass on here. This thing, so it also has some bass tones. This one's called Brighter Bass. Turn it up a little bit. It's not bright enough. So the bottom line, PV AmpKit and AmpKit LiNK. Pretty rocking little piece of software and hardware. Great for rocking out on the go. Worked pretty well for me. Lots of tones to choose from. Good interface. I give it a thumbs up. And so go out and pick it up. It's not going to cost you too much. So, all right. You guys take care. Donovan from CrunchGear. We'll see you around.